Welcome to our reading for Tuesday, the 13th of December, 2016. Remember, it's a general reading. See what feels right for you. See which signs, symbols, bells, whistles, messages, energies resonate for you and bring you clarity to what you're wondering, concerned, confused, inquiring, dreaming, and praying about. We're all children of God. We're all psychic. We're not all going through the same thing at the same time, at the same pace. So see what feels right for you. It could be one sign, and that brings you clarity. It could be the whole reading. It could make sense later. In the end, always use your logic and intuition together to make sound decisions based in love for the highest and greatest good of everybody. So we're all uplifted in love. See how it feels for you. How you ride these energetic waves that come through here is always up to you. Is it your wave? Is it not your wave? Are you waiting for another wave, preparing for that wave, crashing into the wave, riding the wave, or ignoring the wave? Also, feel free to make this an interactive video if you want to pull some cards for yourself. And if you have some time, try to check out the links below. See if there are signs and symbols, personal messages in the lyrics, in the videos, or just enjoy the tunes. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I'll see you in a moment for the reading. Hi, welcome to our reading for Tuesday, the 13th of December, 2016. We're going to start with the Power Archangel Tarot. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, our higher self, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. Let's get some clarity on the energy coming on through today. I know it's a lot of energy. It's a big old full moon, depending on where you are in the world. It's 13th, 14th of December. So let's get some clarity on this energy coming on in and how to ride this energy, these energies best for all of us. Let's start with a nice focus point for the day. And that's, well, that's a nice card. I call this the active waiting card. You know something's coming through. You know something's on its way. The delivery has been checked at the, last destination point, and you know it's coming through, but you still have to wait another day for that package to arrive, for that person to get on their flight and come to you, for you to wait until that flight is available, to get on the plane, to get on the boat, to get on the bus, to get on the subway, to get in your car and go. So it's that moment before the go, or that meeting occurs. You know there's something coming. You can definitely see something good on the horizon. It's like you have to wait. You have to do something with that energy that's sort of valuable, creative. So you're not just impatient and, somebody waiting in the office for their appointment and you have nothing to do, like a little kid, and you just, are anxious. You have to not have that and get over the anxiousness or the butterflies or the excitement or the anticipation or the nerves and do something with that energy that's productive. So pack your suitcase, plan your next few days, do some research, make some phone calls, prepare your surroundings, clear your space. Get rid of the clutter, take only what you need if you're going somewhere. Take the necessities and leave the baggage behind. Know it's valuable to bring with you on your trip, what you really need and what you really don't, what you can pick up along the way. Also helping somebody else out if someone's coming to visit you. Don't bring that, I have towels. Don't bring this, I have the food. Don't worry about that, just get yourself here. Kind of thing. And you're helping out somebody else. Maybe they're making the plans, they're preparing, they're packing, they're getting ready, or that's you. But something's coming, something's on its way, someone's on their way, but you have to do the preparation work. You have to do something with that energy, with your attention, to be productive, to make it smoother when the meeting comes. It's going to happen. So it's even knowing that you have that interview coming up and getting ready for it. Whatever you have to do, even if it's going to the spa and forgetting all about it, to prepare yourself and make yourself calm so you're not anxious. So when you go there, you're yourself, because that's what's going to get you in the door. That's what's getting you the interview, getting you the job. That's why this energy is already making its way towards you. So what do you need to do to feel good about that situation coming in? You know, do you need to relax? Do you need to sleep? Do you need to prepare something? Do you need to do the final touches? Do you need to make phone calls? What is it for you? You know, it could be different things in different situations. For this, you need to be less stressed. So you're going to take some time and take a bath, relax, you know, take the kids to grandma's, get yourself ready, do it alone. Or are you preparing with the kids, you know, getting everything ready now so it's not, you know, a last minute production later when you actually have to go and there's maybe weather or snow or you have to take your time or delays happening. It's preparing for everything that can happen and working with these surroundings around you as it happens. So, prosperity, 3 of Gabriel. When I think of Gabriel, I think of rods, you know, fire, passion, fuel in the gas tank, preparing everything, excitement, energy, inspiration. So it's this kind of energy circulating around this trip, this meeting, this chance, this preparation. It's excitement. You know, there's energy involved in it. So you either need to conserve your energy to get ready for it, or put some energy into something so you can conserve it later when you're on your way, you know, when you're sailing in that boat that comes, when you're making that connection that comes through. You can just sail through that. It's also having more than one opportunity. So you have more than one thing you might need to go to, more than one family event, more than one business dinner or like holiday get together today. It could be more than one thing, something with your kids, something with your job, something for yourself, but it's all going to work out. Each opportunity, I feel like, comes at the right moment. So maybe do the scheduling if you have to prepare something so you can, you know, so all the boats aren't docking at the same exact time, maybe, you know, and you don't have to handle everything at once. Or if all of these things are coming at the same time and you have time to kill before then, prepare accordingly so that you can be organized and get everybody to their location where they need to go. I'm seeing you like having, I don't know, family or helping somebody else out at work or packages or deliveries and getting everything organized out there. So smooth sailing. That's what I'm getting. It's prosperity arising from wise planning, time to take the next step. That's that active waiting. So what are you going to do with that time that's active and useful, even if it's actively sleeping, because that's useful because you need your active energy later, you know? Use this for your specific situation. I'm getting sleep in some cases. So optimistic plans that turn out as expected. It's going to be okay. Don't worry so much. Don't do the worrying. And if that's someone else worrying about plans or whatever, I feel like you're going to smooth that over, make it easy, have the solution. You're familiar with your environment if you're getting guests, or if you're going somewhere, it's going to feel like home. Even if you're going to a town over, the office next door, the house next door, going somewhere like near but different. I just got that, like, you know, when you've never been, I'm getting 2 different things. Like sometimes when you know somebody and you imagine that they live a certain way and you imagine their house a certain way, and then you actually go to their house for dinner or something and it's not how you thought at all. It's actually completely opposite. I always think that's pretty cool. Or sometimes it's exactly what you saw in your head, or you saw this place in your head and you never thought it was that person's house. You know, it's like you saw this place in your dreams or imagine this thing, and when you get to the environment, it's so familiar. You know, it's so right. It's like, wow, I'm getting home, like comfortable. So if you're feeling uncomfortable in your surroundings or where you're going, I feel like it's going to be smoothed over by either that person, that energy, that environment, that situation, that conversation. It's going to feel good. You're going to put I see somebody like putting up their, you see my funky pants, like just putting up their feet and their funky pants and their crazy hat and just, you know, feeling at home here. So, I'm getting just take what you need and don't worry so much, and everything will be provided for. If it's, even if it's just, divine timing, you know, divine signs that come through for you. It might be through a stranger helping you out with directions, or getting lost and stumbling upon that perfect, I don't know, I see like a festival or something, like a sign where you see a festival coming up and that's that thing you wanted to do in 2 days and you didn't know what to do. And had you not gone down the wrong road, you wouldn't have seen that. Like, it's things that come up out of nowhere you didn't expect, or do expect, or better than expected. So let's continue with the steampunk. I really like this particular deck. I don't know, I think it's kind of cute. I like the pictures. So let's pull a card and get clarity on the Three of Gabriel. When I see a 3, I think of creativity. Working together, communication, taking different energies, adding a little friction, adding a little love, adding some spice, and creating something new. Because you have a new situation. Taking the norm that you know and the weird you're thrown into and making that merge and blend and harmonize somehow. You know, I'm seeing like I don't know, I want to say like the black sheep, but then I saw like a rainbow sheep, or like a pink sheep, or like whatever color sheep, or maybe you're not a sheep at all. You're like an exotic bird of paradise, and you know, you're standing out. That was weird. I went from a sheep to a bird of paradise. So maybe there's like a totem animal, or putting a little color in something that's normally black and white or gray, you know, like in between the lines, putting your flavor in that environment, going into a place and like, I don't know, I just see you like coloring something. Like if this was all black and white, like a Betty Boop thing, and you're painting colors in your environment, in yourself, in your surroundings. That was real. Like, I feel like I just went down the side trail with that one. So let's get another card before I go off the trail too far. Get another card on prosperity arising from wise planning, taking time before the next step, and optimistic plans that turn out as expected. I see somebody like in their car and like stopping before their destination at either like, I don't know, a truck stop or a diner or like a bakery or something like that, a coffee shop, and just sort of taking a moment in your car, like with the heat and maybe a little bit of the chill in the air, depending on where you are, maybe rain or snow, or you're taking a moment and like listening to the music and breathing, like almost like meditating before you go somewhere, almost like you're nervous to meet somebody. You're thinking about what you're going to say to this person. And I feel like don't worry about that if you're like needing a moment before you go into something, before you go through the door or knock. Just put on a nice song or something that puts your energy, some classical music even, something that really resonates for you. It makes you feel good, makes you feel calm and relaxed. Like I'm getting spa kind of music, either really happy lyrics or none at all. And breathe, you know, maybe say a prayer, ask for some help, or, you know, to be calm. For some reason, I just thought of a Bible verse, so I guess that's coming through for a reason, that God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. So if you're nervous or concerned or fearful or worrisome about something, just relax and know you're going to be okay. It's going to go smoothly. It's probably going to go even better than you imagined. So just relax, take a few breaths, and like, I don't know, and see you like, just like putting up your collar and working it. And it works. It comes through. That interview comes through. That conversation comes through. That connection comes through. It's a beautiful visit. It's a beautiful time. So let's get another card. That was a lot on one card. Oh my. And this is the Hierophant. So this is divine guidance. Okay, this is a big card. So let me see what I'm getting with this. It's trusting your own divine guidance is what I'm getting first. It's being around others that are like-minded, that resonate with you, that flow with you. So if you were somewhere before that you were not flowing with, it's you getting out of that, going somewhere where there are others that work with you, that want to work with you, that are on board with you, that are literally drawn to working with you, that resonate with you, that harmonize with you. So the Hierophant is number 5, major arcana. It's definitely major change. It's rewriting the rules or having to go along with the rules. It's having integrity with all of the decisions that you make. You know, having that divine connection inside of you to know what's good and what's not, what's right and what's wrong. No one can actually tell you that. If someone tells you, oh, that's bad, but inside of you, you feel like there's something there that's maybe not what they're telling you is bad. Maybe that's that fear thing. You know, it could just be tarot cards, you know, something like that. And if you don't understand where the energy's coming through, or have a divine consciousness to your higher self, your own connection to the divine, to God, to the universe in you to know what's right and what's wrong. So it kind of makes me think of like how I do these readings. I feel like I'm, in the end, like I want to be open to the best energy possible that could come through for all of us. And, you know, when I'm tapping into the energies of the day or the week or whatnot to help everybody out. So, I don't know, in my eyes, I feel like I'm going to go to source, to God, to where we're all from, that center point, because who better to ask than where that center point is that we're all connected to? And I feel like there's guardian angels. There are fairies that are the guardian angels of the earth and the animals. There are energies of the nature and the sky. Like I think of sylphs and like salamanders, elementals, you know, and things that we might not even understand that are in other dimensions that could be helpful or possibly not. It's possible that there is an energy there that is maybe very helpful, but maybe not the most knowledgeable. So why? So, I mean, it makes me think of possibly praying to like a saint, which is kind of ironic because I have my book of saints that I brought for some reason here. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If there's a saint that has a specific thing that, you know, if you put there's something wrong in it, that's your box that you just put it into. But I feel like, why put it in the box at all? Why not just ask for it to come down from that most divine source and trickle down however it needs to come through, as long as it is blessed with the highest power of the Christ conscious spirit of love. You know, that loving, living life force energy that is here to help us all. And whatever way it needs to come through, you know, whether it's a little fairy that needs to tell me, or a bird in the sky that gives me a sign, or it's a stranger that gives me a message that happened to be divine and help me out with something. However it needs to come through, I'm going to know in here if it's good and if it's right and if it's wrong, or if it feels weird, or if it came from an icky source. Even if it's an icky source or an icky mirror, it's coming through to show you something icky in that direction, so you know not to go in that direction, or what is not right, or what is not being real, or what is not being truthful being presented for you, so you can know to go that way if that is not the correct rule that was made for your soul, or what feels right inside of you. So even if rules are made, sometimes it doesn't mean it's necessarily wrong. Maybe it's just wrong for where you are on your path right now. You know? There's nothing wrong with rewriting the rules. If you're along your journey a little farther and you've seen something that comes to your consciousness, your attention, or inside your soul that makes you wake up to something, what are you going to still stick around and do the same old when you know the truth is this way? You know, or are you going to crack that mold and walk through and rewrite your path, rewrite history, rewrite the now, rewrite what you see because of what your experience is. So this is being open to change, being open to experience, not knocking down what the rules were before that didn't work. It's okay. We all come from a place where we just didn't know, or that person that told us maybe just didn't know, or they were just following the rules that they knew. So what's good for you? In the end, it's finding that like energy that is the like mirror that brings those blessings of love and unity and harmony in your world towards you. And then you use those lessons and that powerful strength that you've gained from having that friction and that shitty, like opposite energy that you saw, so you can understand to teach others and to really connect to others, not just talk the talk. You know, oh, I read that in a book somewhere, and this is what we're supposed to do. It's like, no, that feels really shitty. When that shit happens to you, or that person takes advantage of you, or you believe something and you find out it's a lie. It's a shitty place to be. So, you know, it's using that energy and making it valuable, making it resonate with someone, making it connect with something because you have a deep connection in you that you just know. You can't also make somebody have that connection. It's a natural connection when someone has that natural resonance. They have that natural lesson that they're connecting to that they need. They hear you now. You know, sometimes you have somebody really wise right around you, like your grandma, your grandpa, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, or this is you, and the people right around you don't hear you. You know, my mom's never seen one of my videos here. She's never watched a reading because even though she has faith in me and where my faith is coming from, you know, I had to explain to my mom that I don't have like ghosts talking through me. I don't give up my power of who I am and the child of God I am to anybody, to any other entity, to any spirit, to anything, fucking period. Period. You know, I don't medium myself out. I am in control of who I am and my own energy and my own connection to God and what is right and real and what feels good to me and what feels like it's helpful to everybody. You know, if I went into ego mode and tried to do all this to just help myself out, you lose something, you know? I feel like you lose something. You lose that divine connection. When I release the connection, so, you know, with myself, I mean, I include myself here, but when I do it to be helpful to just all of us, I feel like the connection connects to whom it should. You know, you find the video if you're supposed to be here and there's something in there for you. Or it's something that pops in later that connects that you think about, oh, that's that thing that I didn't get before. Because I've seen things that I'm like, that doesn't resonate with you. And then later I'm like, that's that thing. This is it. I'm in it now. I get it. I get it now. You know, so it's just being open to things that you might not understand at the moment, but it comes when it should. You know, it's the energy you find. You find the teachers that you need at the right timing. You know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And the teacher might only be there for a moment. And then you move on and now you're the teacher. You know, and then you find something in your next student that moves you to being the novice again and learning something all over. You know, it's a constant, beautiful exchange of energy. But just know who you are. Don't ever give your power away. Don't ever search for the answer and the power in somebody else and give your power to somebody else thinking they have the answer when you're going to only know in you your own connection, your own divine connection with your experience and where you are in your consciousness. And that's what's special. So it's learning to have beautiful divine discernment. What's out here, you know, there's probably nuggets of wisdom even in the things that are scary. That's why even the scary subjects have connections with some people or a lot of people, because people connect to the nuggets that are the truth. They feel that truth, and unfortunately sometimes that truth blinds them and puts blinders on, and you believe the rest that's actually just bullshit. So you have to distinguish all the bits of truth in what you're in and all the bits of bullshit. And know that there's a sifting going on inside of you all the time. There's never all of the answers in any, don't put all your eggs in any one basket. You know? So this is having an open arms to all the baskets that need to come in. All the different places that you need to find knowledge, wisdom, spirituality for you, what resonates for you, what works for you. It might not be cards. You know, it might be going to church, to actually having others around you that you can talk to and communicate with and, you know, have a bake sale and stuff, but that brings a community in your world, you know, or having a meetup. This is like you and a bunch of people that like to walk their dogs together, and you connect with your interactions with animals and, you know, cleaning up the local parks and getting involved in with children, or, you know, doing something different, but it's your energy and what you're specifically good at. This could be you teaching music, connecting kids with music, you know, that are having trouble paying attention in school, having them do something like classical music and meditation, violin, where they're in the moment, rock music that they're into and make it their own, where they can have a moment to get in tune with themselves. Whatever your connection is, divine guidance and divine teaching come through many forms. Nature is a big one. Just the wind blowing, the birds squawking, you know? So, you know, for some, they have to hear it. They have to listen to a podcast. They have to hear it. For others, they have to see it. For some, they have to experience it to believe it. So you have to open up the door here to what you are drawn towards, what feels good with you, what brings answers inside of you that feel right, and close the doors that aren't. But know that that brought you where you are, that brought you strength, that brought you wisdom, you know, that brought you the open book to see this and to see this and see what works for you and what doesn't. And in the end, your belief, your faith is your own connection. You know, if you really believe something to happen, you're going to see it happen. If you close the door that it couldn't be, it's like the placebo effect, and it probably isn't going to happen. So open the door here. I'm going back to that, like, you know, like you could talk to the people right around you, and I'm going to my mom listening to this, but like, you know, some people can watch someone else and believe everything that a stranger says for some reason, and not to the person that maybe has the things, miracles or such happening to them. So it's finding the connections of the miracles that connect you to that specific individual. Even if you're really different in your beliefs, there is still a connection and a way to have a resonance. You know, once I explained to my mom, I'm going into this must be important for some of you, like my grandpa, just so you understand, was a minister. So I grew up with a really big sense of right and wrong, good and bad, heaven and hell. And I had a lot of questions as a kid. I don't understand, why is that? Well, why couldn't that be that? And I don't understand if this, like, I mean, questions up the wazoo. That never stopped. And it started this path, at least for me, very, very, very young, to question all these things. I don't understand why that makes sense. And, you know, there were a lot of things that I wish I knew younger, but I at least had that wide, starry-eyed child wonder as to, I mean, I can remember one time laying in my parents' waterbed, looking at the ceiling and questioning infinity. And it blew my mind at one point, and I couldn't go any farther. I just couldn't handle it. I was like, well, it just goes on, and then on from there, and then on from there. And I mean, it literally blew my mind. It's like I was lost in space with that question. And you had to, like, come back to center, come back to reality here, where you are, and, you know, start with what you can see. You know, this tiny miracle that just happened, that synchronicity that occurred, that thing that, you know, came to you that you saw coming and happened just like you saw in your head. So I definitely went on a tangent with these two cards today. So let's sum up this reading with, well, let's do two cards. Let's pull one card from the Romance Angels and get clarity on communication. All right, so I didn't even mention, this could be just marriages, institutions, church, school, being involved with others that you follow the rules so it works. It's also being able to take the things that happen in spirituality and the ethers and put some structure to it so you understand and you know how to live and follow it. Follow those rules that feel right. Follow that path that feels right, not just write about it and then not do it behind closed doors. It's living that path here, you know, because in your soul, you know if you did or not. And the connection with anyone else, you can only live by example. You can't make somebody have that connection or not. You can just have faith and trust that that right energy of love, if you're putting it out there and the right intentions are going out there, it's going to be connected to with others. And they're going to have that same kind of love circulate in them and that same desire to maybe help somebody else out. Even if it's just buying somebody a sandwich, that might be really helpful. And it's just that idea, that conversation that came through, and that little bit of like Good Samaritan coming through later, you know? So it could be rewriting the rules in your marriage. You could be thinking about a union in yourself, what you're going to do for yourself, what's good for you, what you and your husband and your wife are going to do, what's good for you, what you're going to attend, what you're not going to attend, what you're going to do for each other, what's different now than the past, what you're going to do for the future. It could be you leaving a big corporation and doing, having a home business instead, teaching a few students something instead. This could be, I don't know, I feel like you're either, you know, making a union on your own and doing something and bringing energies together, or going somewhere that has an energy that resonates for you. Or that energy is being drawn towards you and you're resonating with somebody else on a spiritual level. You know, it's always a connection inside of you. Let's get one card for romance, communication, and relationships. And that's deception. So that's knowing what's right and what's wrong inside of you. You know, it's not putting all that outside of yourself. Even if there's somebody that you really trust around you, it doesn't mean that person wasn't deceived by something. They thought that when they signed up for this thing, they were getting the deal of a lifetime. And they brought you on board, and now you're both screwed over. They might not have tried to really screw you over, but you know what? You listened to their enthusiasm so much and didn't read the fine print and signed up right away for this, like, deal of a lifetime, or made some of those like weird home business things where you think you're like, yeah, like this is really exciting, and then you have to spend like $10,000 to do it, or like get the pictures done, or something that's not worth it. And you should have done some research and had discernment for yourself. It's up to you in the end to have responsibility for yourself, to trust what's real, what's not, where you're being screwed, where you're not. And you can't always, you know, it's not always, this is happy. So this means you're not going to be screwed over again. So if there's deception going on, you're going to move away from it. You're getting on board with what's good for you. You're finding the right energies that work for you. You're rewriting the damn rules this time so it works for you. So it's coming from you. So you're in charge. You're in power. You're not going to be deceived. You're not going to be taken a fool. You're not going to be taken advantage of here. So you need to be conscious of your situation so you're not. And that's it. You're going to have the bells going off the wrong way if it's the wrong way. So trust yourself in the end. You know, anything can come through that you find out there as far as a message or whatever, but when you're in the situation, that's when you really know. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. So this could be where you're leaving. You felt like you weren't yourself. Once you had to express yourself, you had to follow the rules all the time, and I don't know, you saw a different reality around you. So that's you leaving that. That's taking off your mask. Or it could be you ripping off the mask of someone else. Like, why are you always like that around me when you do this other thing? You know, it's like doing one thing and saying another thing. That could be somebody else. You know, they always say something to you and they do something else. And you're just going to call them out rather than letting that repeat. You know, you're going to get on the ship that works for you. You're going to leave the luggage or the baggage behind. So, you know, it could have been the rules. It could have been something you were taught, but it doesn't always have to be that it was a big deception. It's usually just someone else that was just deceived or just didn't know or just didn't learn yet or just hadn't experienced something yet, you know? They were naive. They got involved in a situation. You got involved in a situation. You were naive. You hadn't learned yet. You hadn't been in that situation where somebody like you always, you know, it's like a kid, like having the best intentions, getting involved in business and not understanding there's people that are going to take advantage of you because you are an apprentice or putting a lot of energy into it. And someone's just going to kind of like, I don't know. I see somebody like taking advantage of that situation. Maybe it's time to get paid. Or, you know, maybe it's time, hey, I do all the work here. You know, I see that. Like, and maybe it's time that I get put on the books, or I get put in the, you know, I'm getting paid for this, or I'm doing all the work, or I get some credit where credit is due. And you're speaking up now. You're breaking the rules a little bit, you know, to move towards the right energies, to move towards what you deserve, where you've come from, what is good, what feels right, what is the right thing to do. Maybe somebody is not doing the right thing about you. It could be you not doing the right thing about a situation, but I feel like that's changing now. Somebody took off a mask, you took off the mask, you're ready for that to like come clean, and you're gonna either break some rules, rewrite the rules, go somewhere that you feel better, feel more in control, feel like you're heard, and not worry so much about where there's deception. I feel like if there's deception and someone's not hearing you, or they're just putting on a mask, it's up to them to take off the mask and to wake up and see that truth and whatever. You can't rip it off all the time. Sometimes if you rip off the mask, you put someone in shock about what they actually see, and they have to process it. So allow them to find, you know, that processing time and everything on their own. And maybe they have to hear it, I'm getting from somebody else. You know, maybe you ripped off something, a truth. There was something kind of shocking that came through, and maybe it was hard to come from you, or you from that person, and now you just, it's going to come through a different way, and it's going to make sense a different way. It's going to have healing a different way. Maybe somebody else is going to get on a different boat, go a different way, learn their own lesson a different way and on their own time, and have their own processing time, and you're going to just go a different way. That's kind of what I'm getting. I hope that made sense to you guys. I feel like somebody's leaving a job, an apartment, a roommate situation, a weird situation. Somebody's either leaving your environment, you're telling someone to go, or you're just getting up and going. Somewhere in your world, something's leaving and something better's coming in for you, and you know it's on its way. So you're like maybe just saying no to those last things, helping somebody pack, and just trusting that the right thing's coming in for you. The right wisdom is you're on its way towards you. You're like itching to find the right new situation, new rules, new path for you. I'm getting like a boat that you get on with beautiful energies and going somewhere else. Travel. Maybe actual travel today. Like the winds of change. I'm getting the sails blowing a different way suddenly. All right, let's sum this reading up with one more card. And that's reaching out, messages, connecting, communicating, also taking off, that's so cool, taking off the mask, putting your mask down, even if it's a mask that is not necessarily deception, but it could amplify those energies. Sometimes you can put on a mask that, you know, like if you're scared of something fearful, you put on that scary like mask. I'm thinking something kind of tribal, and it like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, you're scary? Well, I'm going to scare you right back. And now I'm facing that fear, and now it's not so scary. You're putting yourself in the driver's seat and saying, now what? Thank you, fear. Thank you, thing that I went through, because now I know how to face you and how to conquer you and how to grow and have just more love than fear. Because in the end, there, you know, it's the fear that's holding you back. It's the fear you have to face. It's the fear that's bringing the healing. It's having that friction, not getting swallowed into it, and facing it and moving from it. You know, finding strength from it. Just being your authentic self here. Making that connection that you were worried about and having it be heard here. So let's go to the book, and this is 28, so it's a 10. It's ending something and beginning something else, and it's that tweener time. It's the transition time. So it's time. What are you doing for that preparation? I think that's going back to the beginning of the reading, and these readings have a lot of energy this week. This is a long one again. I'm just going to go with this reading. Maybe it's the full moon, lots of energy, lots of situations coming through. You know, it's completion with the full moon. It's a big ending, and it should be a big beginning. 29 is contact, reaching out, spiritual bonds. That's cool. That's this. and connections. Each contact with a human being is so rare, so precious, one should preserve it. ANAIS. In this life, we are spirit and we are flesh. When we forget that we are both, we can suffer unnecessarily. This card can indicate a need to take time for meditation and to connect with one's higher self. This will in turn allow us to see the spiritual aspect of others more clearly and be able to reach out to them more easily. A young man stands in a contemplative mode. A mask before him indicates that he has stepped away from his usual role in life. A flame beside the mask signifies the eternity of our nature and reminds us that all that we see in this earthly realm is no more than a mask. In his right hand, he holds a bell jar. That reminds me of the rising sign for some reason. So maybe rising sign is important, or somebody's rising sign. In his right hand, he holds a bell jar that contains the face of a woman. Maybe she is his spirit guide or a love from a past life. She is reaching out to him. I just thought of telepathy. With much love and tenderness, or like soul family, you know, soul connections, deep connections that are deeper than what you see on the surface. You feel them inside of you. You feel the connection inside of you. That lesson coming through, that chance to talk to someone, that chance to open, expand somehow, you know, feel like you're lifting up and being enlightened somehow inside of you just by that connection, somehow, small or big as it is. Maybe, or she is reaching out to him with much love and tenderness. In his left hand, he holds 2 batons indicating the duality of human nature. They may also indicate that he has more than enough will to move forward in his life. You know, I feel like you just reach out and keep it open-ended. So whatever energy needs to come through and trickle down, you know, to bring the message in, and however it needs to come in, I feel like when you connect to that real deep divine child of God inside of you, and the love that's all out here to be helpful to every dimension, every other soul, every place you go, you know, like the Hierophant, to have real, true authenticity in your actions, then that's when these connections are made and you feel them, you know? So prepare. I feel like you're doing some preparation for these big connections to come through here. And you're moving away from this. You know, you're busting some illusions and you're riding into some beautiful truth, you know, for you. So I hope this reading was helpful. I know it's a long one again. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I'll see you soon. God bless you. Bye.